Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something a bit different, a really broad look at recent news from all over.
Yeah, we've gathered a whole range of stuff, articles, reports, you name it.
And the idea is to, cut through all the chatter and give you a clear, concise snapshot of what's actually going on.
Exactly. Taking that mountain of information and making it, well, digestible, illuminating, hopefully,
We want to pull out the key things, the surprising bits.
to give you a quick but thorough understanding of different events, different trends, really dig into why it all matters.
Okay, let's jump right in. We're starting close to home here on the West Coast, Los Angeles and Santa Monica.
Right, and it's quite a mix of stories. Public safety concerns, but also community efforts, too.
Definitely. Looking at Santa Monica first, there's been a string of incidents over the last couple of months. Paints a picture, doesn't it?
It really does. What stands out?
Well, late June, you had that officer ambush near the downtown mall. Big lockdown, manhunt, the works.
Right, I remember that. And wasn't there something with Waymo vehicles around then, too?
Yes, exactly. A suspect linked to gunfire at a Waymo was caught. And just before that, June 23rd, a shooting at a Waymo car.
Injuring two teenagers, I think?
Yeah, juveniles. Police said it looked targeted, like it started from an argument.
And it wasn't just shootings.
No. Mid-June, an attempted sexual assault on an older woman, 84 years old, near 6th and Wilshire. A Long Beach man was arrested.
Awful.
And earlier, June 3rd, Malibu High got hit with vandalism. Big muss. Sheriff investigating potential student involvement.
So it's a range of issues impacting the community there.
Absolutely. Going back to May, remember that deadly attempted robbery on the 3rd Street Promenade?
Vaguely, yeah. An after-hours sale that went wrong.
Turned violent, yeah.
Yeah.
A Hollywood man was charged. And even an ICE apprehension, a Santa Monica College student picked up off campus in mid-May.
It's quite a collection of incidents in a fairly small area. Shows the kind of pressures local law enforcement must be under.
For sure. And it's not just Santa Monica. If we look at the wider LA metro area, July 20th had some really tragic traffic news.
Oh, what happened there?
Early Sunday morning, like 1 a.m. on the 605 South, near the 105. A Nissan apparently clipped a CHP car,
Oh, okay.
became disabled on the freeway, and then just moments later, a Kia slams into it.
Oh, no.
The Nissan caught fire, completely engulfed. All 4 people inside died. Just devastating.
That's horrific. What about the Kia driver?
A 26-year-old woman. She was arrested, suspicion of DUI, facing multiple felony charges now. 2 people in her car were hurt too, but CHP officers were okay.
Wow, DUI crashes. They're just
Yeah.
catastrophic. Such a stark reminder.
And that wasn't the only fatal one that weekend. Late Saturday night in Victorville out on Air Expressway.
Victorville, okay.
2-car crash, a gold Mercedes and a silver Honda. An 18-year-old passenger of the Mercedes, Destiny Simon, she died.
So young.
And the Honda driver, unidentified, also killed. The Mercedes driver, just 19, was hospitalized.
Just awful. These traffic fatalities are relentless.
And then something completely different, but equally chaotic. East Hollywood, early Saturday morning, around 2 a.m.
What happened? Outside a nightclub?
Yeah, popular spot. A 29-year-old guy, Fernando Ramirez, apparently got kicked out for being disruptive.
Okay. So what did he do?
He allegedly got in his car and deliberately drove into the crowd outside. Hit at least 30 people.
30 people. That's unbelievable.
23 ended up hospitalized. 7 were critical. Cell phone video showed people pulling him out of the car, assaulting him.
Vigilante justice starting.
Looked like it. Then nightclub security tried to step in, and someone from across the street shot Ramirez.
Shot him while he was being assaulted.
Yeah, shot him in the rear. He survived, was hospitalized, and booked for assault with a deadly weapon. Over 100 firefighters were there setting up triage.
What a scene. Any fatalities from the crash itself?
Thankfully, no. But the police are still looking for the person who shot him.
Just layer upon layer of chaos.
It really is. But, amidst all these public safety challenges, there are positive things happening too. Community efforts development.
Right. It's important to see that side as well, what's going on there.
Well, mid-July, the Dodgers held a back-to-school bash. Really nice event for families affected by recent fire.
Oh, that's great. What did they offer?
Free groceries, school supplies, haircuts, even medical screenings. Just good community support.
That's fantastic. Anything else on the community front?
Yeah, actually some positive news on homelessness in LA. For the 2nd year in a row, the numbers are apparently down.
Oh, really? That is significant. A decline 2 years running suggests maybe some approaches are starting to work.
It's definitely a hopeful sign.
Yeah.
And in Santa Monica, they're tackling affordable housing.
How so?
The city's offering up some of its own properties for affordable housing development.
That's a direct way to address it, using public assets.
Exactly. Plus, a local congressman secured about $14.5 million for projects on the west side and in the San Fernando Valley.
Injecting funds into the community.
And Santa Monica launched a free webinar program, RMP, to help small businesses.
Supporting local entrepreneurs. Good stuff.
And, on a lighter note, the cultural scene keeps buzzing. Salt and Straw had an ice cream week special.
Always popular.
Bacio de Latte opened downtown with Italian gelato. A promenade spot started an $18 lunch menu, though Booty Bop Asian Grill did close on the promenade.
So, wins and losses like any vibrant area.
Pretty much.
What's really fascinating here, I think, is this contrast. You have these really intense safety issues popping up.
Yeah, some really scary stuff.
But right alongside that, you see these ongoing efforts to build community, tackle homelessness, support businesses, keep the culture alive.
It's that push and pull, isn't it?
Exactly. The ebb and flow of urban life.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder how communities manage to adapt and, keep their character through all these dynamic challenges.
That's a great point. Okay, let's shift our view now. Broaden out to the national and even international stage. Some big headlines shaping the wider world.
Right. Stepping back to see the bigger currents.
So in the U.S. political and social arena, quite a bit happening around former President Trump.
It seems like that's often the case. What's the latest?
Well, he's suing the Wall Street Journal, apparently related to questions about his past dealings with Jeffrey Epstein. That was July 18th, 19th news.
Okay. Legal battles continuing. What else?
There were reports about cuts to the State Department office that combats human trafficking.
Oh, that sounds concerning.
Yeah, a former leader of that office weighed in, expressing concern about the impact.
Policy decisions with real-world consequences there.
Definitely. And another ongoing issue, the fight by transgender service members to continue serving, despite the Trump administration's ban.
Still a major point of contention and legal challenge. Wow.
Absolutely. And public broadcasting continues to face worries about federal funding cuts. An ongoing story there.
So these different threads, legal, policy, social rights, media funding, they really paint a picture of ongoing tensions and debates in the U.S., don't they?
They really do. And many of these decisions, like you said, hit people directly. Who gets to serve, how trafficking is fought, what media gets funded.
Tangible impacts.
Beyond the specifically political, other U.S. news. CBS canceled The Colbert Show, claiming it was financial.
But the timing raised questions, didn't it?
Some observers thought so, yeah. And a really big milestone in Flint, Michigan.
Flint. With the water crisis?
Exactly. They finally removed thousands of lead pipes. A huge step, though reports say other problems still linger.
Wow, that's taken a long time. Good to hear progress, even if it's not fully resolved.
Yeah. There was also a piece looking at the lives of some of the very few refugees who've arrived in the U.S. since Trump took office.
A rare glimpse into that situation.
Kind of puts a human face on it. And on public health, concerns were raised about funding cuts at the National Cancer Institute.
What kind of implications?
Just worries about the impact on the fight against cancer, research, and treatment development.
Major potential consequences there.
And one more trend, the rise of mental health misinformation on social media.
Oh, that's a huge problem, isn't it? Getting reliable information in the digital age.
Seems like a growing challenge. So moving to global events and environmental news.
What's happening internationally?
In Gaza, Israel's military issued new evacuation orders for the central area. This came as, tragically, more than 80 Palestinians were reported killed while trying to get food aid.
The humanitarian situation there just sounds dire, constantly evolving and dangerous.
It really does. Elsewhere, former Brazilian President Bolsonaro was ordered to wear an ankle monitor.
Ah, related to ongoing investigations there.
Seems likely part of legal proceedings. And environmentally, Malaysia made a big announcement.
What's that?
They're going to stop accepting plastic waste imports from the U.S. and other wealthy nations.
Taking a stand on waste dumping. That's significant.
Yeah, it could have ripple effects. And on a more cultural note, a look at some of the potential new UNESCO World Heritage Sites for 2025.
Always interesting to see what gets recognized globally. So, if you try and connect these dots, the U.S. political scene, global conflicts like Gaza, public health funding, environmental policy like Malaysia's plastic ban.
That's a lot of different issues.
It is, but you see these common threads, right? The impact of policy, the search for stability, the consequences of conflict, environmental accountability.
Yeah, they might seem separate, but they often reflect these bigger interconnected global challenges, don't they?
Exactly. And this ongoing effort everywhere to find solutions, even amidst all the volatility.
Right. So building on that global view, let's zoom in on some specific economic and tech currents, particularly looking at Africa this time.
Okay, interesting. Where are we starting?
Let's look at Nigeria first. Based on reports from Investors King, there's a lot going on economically.
Nigeria's a powerhouse. What's the outlook?
Well, the central bank governor, Mr. Cardoso, he's predicting inflation and foreign exchange pressures might start easing up, maybe Q1 2025.
That would be welcome news.
Ah.
Inflation's been a challenge there, right?
Big time. They actually just raised their main interest rate again, the monetary policy rate, by 25 basis points, up to 27.50%, specifically to fight that inflation.
Tightening the belt makes sense.
But despite that, President Tinubu is still expressing confidence. He's got this ambitious goal
What's the goal?
to transform Nigeria into a $1 trillion economy by 2030.
Wow, that is ambitious, especially with current pressures.
Definitely. But they point to recent GDP growth 3.46% in Q3 2024 as a positive sign.
So, tackling short-term issues while aiming high long-term.
Seems to be the strategy.
Yeah.
And you see action at the state level, too. Book budgets being unveiled.
Like where?
Akwa Ibom State, Governor Umo Eno announced a $955 billion budget for 2025. Plateau State, Governor Mutfwang, a $471 billion budget. Bauchi State, $465 billion.
Significant sums. Shows diverse regional planning.
Yeah, and social initiatives, too. Austin State's governor presented nearly €1 billion in bond checks to pensioners.
Addressing social welfare.
And the federal government launched an online credit scheme called Scale. It's aimed at tackling food shortages by boosting local businesses.
Using credit access for food security. Interesting approach.
There's even a debate brewing about tax allocation. The Federal Inland Revenue Service is siding with northern lawmakers,
Arguing what?
arguing the current formula disadvantages most states, like 34 of them, in favor of Lagos, Rivers, and the capital, FCT.
The age-old question of revenue sharing. Always contentious.
Always. And looking quickly at business and tech, mobile money is huge.
How huge?
Apparently powering nearly 60% of formal borrowing across sub-Saharan Africa now.
60%. That's incredible. Truly transformative for financial access.
Absolutely. And First Bank in Nigeria dispersed $1 trillion, that's trillion with a T, in digital loans, using AI to expand access.
The scale of digital finance adoption is just staggering.
Though not always smooth sailing, the Dangote refinery had to pause its fuel discount program recently.
Why was that?
A supply integrity breach, they called it. Sounds like maybe issues with fraud or mismanagement in the discount scheme.
Operational challenges, even for major players.
Right. Now let's shift slightly, look at North Africa. Insights from Attajari CIB for July 2025, but the trends are relevant now.
Okay, what are we seeing there?
Forex markets. The dollar seems to be strengthening against the euro, boosted by U.S. economic news.
Currency fluctuations impacting the region.
Yeah. And regionally, Morocco and Senegal are seeing some positive momentum in tourism and improvements in their trade balances.
Good news for their economies.
The Casablanca Stock Exchange has been active, rising volumes. There was even a specific analysis of CIH Bank stock, recommending holding it based on its performance and outlook.
So market activity and analysis pointing to some confidence.
Seems like it, but also challenges. Visan had IPO results reported in Morocco, but Senegal got a sovereign rating downgrade from S&P.
Right, so it's a mixed picture, as always. Positive signs alongside risks. You know, what strikes me looking at Nigeria and then North Africa, it's the sheer diversity of economic approaches and situations across the continent.
Totally different scales and focuses sometimes.
Right. You've got Nigeria's massive growth ambitions alongside inflation battles, then the currency dynamics and market specifics in Morocco and Senegal, and underpinning so much of it.
Digital finance.
Exactly. Mobile money, digital loans. It's clearly a massive engine for change and development. It really makes you wonder how these different paths, these regional links, will shape Africa's economic future. It's incredibly dynamic.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered local, national, international, economic, but there's another layer here we need to touch on.
What's that?
It's about the information itself, how we get it, how reliable it is, and crucially, accountability when things go wrong.
The meta level. Media, information integrity, super important.
Yeah. There's a really striking case study from a YouTube source talking about the aftermath of a terror attack in India.
Okay, tell me about it.
So about a month before this report came out, following the attack, The government and investigation agencies went public,
Saying what?
saying they'd identified the attackers, cases were ready, and they released sketches. These sketches were everywhere media ran them as breaking news.
Standard procedure in many ways, releasing sketches.
Right, but the source notes, it went further. Public discussion got really detailed, focusing on, like, the shapes of noses and ears in the sketches. People widely believed they were accurate.
So the narrative took hold very strongly. This is who did it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then, a month later, plot twist.
Wow.
The same agencies admitted the sketches were wrong. Completely wrong. The faces didn't match.
Seriously, after all that.
Yep. 3 guys they initially named as masterminds. Hashim, Musa Ali, Khalid Hussein turned out to have zero connection to the attack.
Wow. That's a massive error.
Huge. And it immediately raises questions, right? Was it just a colossal mistake by top investigators?
Yeah.
Or was it, as the source speculates, maybe headline management? Meaning, maybe putting out sketches quickly, even wrong ones, was about projecting an image of being on top of things, looking proactive for domestic and international audiences.
That's a cynical view, but plausible in some contexts, I suppose. The pressure to show action immediately after an attack is immense.
And think of the resources wasted. The report says millions were spent chasing leads based on those faulty sketches.
A direct consequence of bad information. So how did they find the real attackers?
It came down to 2 local guys, Parvez Ahmed and Bashir Ahmed. They reported seeing 3 suspicious people at their home before the attack.
Ah, boots on the ground intelligence.
Exactly. Photos shown later by the agencies confirmed these were the actual attackers, including one guy, Suleiman Shah, who had known previous terror links, and another named Junaid.
So the truth eventually came out, but only after a significant delay and misdirection.
Right. But here's the kicker, according to this source. Accountability.
What about it?
Basically none. 2 months later, no official apology, no press conference explaining the error, no minister taking responsibility.
Nothing.
Apparently not. And the media mostly just moved on. Dropped the story of the wrong sketches. Political parties are starting to ask questions now, though.
Questioning the whole basis for the search operations that relied on those sketches.
Exactly. Because the core mistake, the initial wrong information, the sketch, meant the whole foundation of the early investigation was flawed.
It's a powerful example, isn't it? It really highlights the immense responsibility that comes with disseminating information, especially from official sources.
And how media amplification plays into that.
Absolutely. The idea that foundational facts, like a suspect sketch, can be completely wrong. It shakes your trust. It has huge implications for public safety narratives, for resource allocation, even national security.
It really makes you think.
It does, and it connects back to what we were saying earlier about misinformation. What systems are really in place for accountability when errors this big happen? Not just errors, but potentially misleading information.
And what does it say about media literacy? How critically do we need to evaluate even breaking news from official channels?
That's the core question, isn't it?
So quite a journey we've taken you on today. All the way from local incidents in LA
Car crashes, community initiatives,
to big economic shifts in Nigeria and North Africa.
and this really deep question about information and truth raised by that India case study.
Yeah. And hopefully you see how connecting these seemingly disparate pieces, local, global, economic, informational, gives you a richer, more, well, interconnected view of the world right now.
Definitely. It shows the complexity, the overlaps.
That's not just isolated events happening.
Exactly. And perhaps it leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In this age of instant information, constant updates, how good are we really as news consumers at noticing the difference between that first urgent report and the later correction or clarification, which often gets much less attention?
That's a challenging question. We often remember the first headline, don't we?
We do. So what responsibility does that put on us to actively seek out the full story, the accurate picture, even when it's harder to find or maybe less sensational?
Something definitely worth thinking about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today.
We hope it gave you some valuable insights.
And maybe encourages you to keep digging into the information that shapes our world.